Welcome to this old world short report between Bretonnia and the Orcs and Goblins. Bretonnia turn 1, they posture forward while managing to kill a snotling base in shooting. Orcs turn 1 and surprising absolutely fucking nobody, the Orcs surge forward, while in shooting, the Orc archers managing to do a massive 0 damage to the knights. Turn 2 Bretonnia. The Orc archers and spearmen flee from the thunderous charge of the knights, leaving them in a vulnerable position for a countercharge of the Black Orcs. An abysmal round of shooting only sees 2 wounds taken off a snotling base. In Orcs turn 2, the spearmen fail the rally and flee off the battlefield. Cowards. Electing to flee from the charging Black Orcs, they redirect straight into the Paladin. Being the dim-witted fucks they are, the snotlings charge the rear of the Knights of the Realm while the chariot flanks round and charges the archers. After rallying, the archers just shimmy to get a bead on their enemy. The chariot crashes through the archers' lines, making them fall back in good order, but not quite enough to make them flee. They're made of sterner stuff, these boys. Predictably, the snotlings do nothing to the knights, who make them give ground, and they reform to face the snotlings and trample them down. There was a challenge between generals, with the Black Orc Big Boss coming out on top, managing to take a wound off the brave Paladin, but not so brave, he started to flee. The Orcs failed to catch. Bretonnia turn 3 and both the Knights and the Paladin failed to rally and continue to flee. They may have bitten off more than they can chew. The Knights in the centre charge back into the Snotlings looking for an easy fight. Little did they know, they're right. The Bretonnian wizard has forgotten the arcane arts all game and does nothing, while the archers panic from the Knights fleeing through them. Giving the Snotlings a good pegging, the Knights of the Realm in the centre managed to restrain and reform to face the Black Orcs. The Orc chariot, sensing weakness and not failing impetuous, not at all, charged the Knights who caused them to flee off the field, then redirected, charged the peasants who elected to flee. The Black Orc Big Boss called a war and charged headlong into the Knights with his best bashers, ready for a proper fight, while the archers just shimmied back to try and get some shots off. With the Black Orcs being off their tits on the power of the war, the Knights of the Realm stood no chance, with the only survivor fleeing towards the battlefield edge. But the Black Orcs, having some composure, managed to restrain and reform. Bretonnia turn 4, both the Paladin and the surviving Knight have both fled off the battlefield. Both the peasant archers and the peasant men-at-arms managed to rally to face down the remaining Orc horde. Orcs turn 4 and the Black Orcs fail to make the charge while the chariot does make it in. Chariot losing combat and falling back in good order while getting pursued by the peasants. Bretonnia turn 4 and the peasants actually managed to win the combat against the chariot and choose to reform against the Black Orcs, and this is where the Bretonnia throws in the towel, a victory to the Orcs and Goblins.